Hello.
Hello again, friend.
Wake. I'm a hick today.
I was like, wake up. We are awake.
Week 12.
Wake 12, y'all.
Oh, man.
Gosh, so 3-month mark officially.
Yeah.
Holy cow. 12 weeks of Karen's. I'm telling you.
2 more left.
My brain is just like, ooh, I can't wait to talk about something else.
I haven't really ran into many Karens during this time. I was like, maybe if we just talk about them, you don't actually interact with them.
Well, that's not true, because I'll tell you.
Okay.
I had an interesting meeting today.
Oh.
At the bar at work.
Okay.
Not necessarily, I guess, a Karen. Notoriously rude customer. Like, everybody knows that when this person walks in, you're like, a cold just takes over, there's a chill in the air. And she gives me this story about how she wants a tea for her husband. And I was like, great. First question, how strong is your tea? What do you mean, lady? It's tea. Like, it's manufactured. Like, we don't brew it in-house, And so I was like, well, I'm happy to give you a little sample, and she's like, great. So she tastes it. While she's, got the cup, I like tea a lot stronger than most people. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Just, do you want this or not? And she drinks and she's like, ooh, that's good. I'm like, great. And so I said, I'll get you a tea. And she said, well, what other beverages do you provide here? Mind you, this lady has been here before many times.
And we don't provide. You're going to pay
Right.
for it. Because that sounds like I'm giving you something for free.
Yeah, no, she was like, what other drinks do you have? Pretty much. And I was like, soda? And then I paused and I was
Alcohol?
like, Coke products? Like, Coke, Dr. Pepper, Sprite, Diet Coke. And I said, we also have lemonade in case she was wanting like a non-carbonated option or non-caffeinated option. I said lemonade, Powerade, and I think we have like orange Fanta. Yeah. And she's like, I'll take a Dr. Pepper. I'm like, lady, that's the second thing I said, but okay. And then, so I'm over there making it and I've got the tea ready. And I said, you said a Dr. Pepper, ma'am, because it was busy and I just didn't want to give her the wrong soda because I know who she is. And she's like, yes, but that's 2 separate drinks, ma'am. That's a tea and a Dr. Pepper. It's 2 different drinks. And I'm like, what did you think I was going to do with these? Did you think I was going to make them in a 1 cup?
That's funny because I have a very similar thought. I will share when you're done.
I was just like, yes, ma'am. Got it. Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah.
And I gave them to her. And I will say she was very sweet after that. She said, thank you for helping me so quickly. Like, it was as soon as she got up there, I was right there. And I was able to get her, it was maybe a 5-7 minute encounter. And she's like, I just really appreciate it. My husband had a heart attack last year and being out in the heat, I just want him to be okay. I was like, you know what? If he needs a refill on that tea, just come back over and we'll fill it up for free. Like, no problem. And she was like, thank you so much. She was very nice, but it was just not necessarily a Karen, but it was such a weird interaction. Yeah. Like, did you think I was going to put the Dr. Pepper and the tea in the same cup? Like, whose thought process goes there?
Yeah.
So anyway, what's your thought?
After we went uptown to Second Sunday, Brinley said, hey, you said I could get a Sprite because she had water at lunch. And her stomach was kind of bothering her. And I said, yeah, because we were getting ready to go have flights. And I said, just drink water at lunch and then I'll get you a Sprite. I'll go through McDonald's and grab you a Sprite. She said, okay. So I about missed it. And she's like, you said I could get a Sprite. I was like, oh, yep. And I turned. I turned really fast. Anyway, I'm sitting there waiting for our 2 Sprites. And they're making a drink. And you know how the tea is right there? So they put what looks like tea. Or no, I'm sorry. They had put creamer in a cup. And then it looks like they're putting tea in it. And I look and I go, and it says cafe on it. And I'm like, that must be their cold brew. I said, oh my goodness. I thought somebody was ordering a dirty tea. I was like, this is weird. So that's funny that is crazy. They both happened today.
Gosh, what a day.
If you are in Lexington or near Lexington, check out Second Sundays. It's cool.
It is so much fun.
Yeah.
There's vendors. They did the trolley tours today. Went to
oh my gosh,
the historical homes, or they
were just running.
Girl, they said it was 103 reservations. It's the highest that they've ever had. Yeah, it was.
I think they have air conditioning on those too.
I think they do.
That's nice. They had a petting zoo or pony rides. That's what it was. Pony rides.
Yeah, Marlin does those.
Yeah, and anyway, it was just there was fresh produce down there.
That's my favorite
There was
part.
like a food truck at the end,
Mhm.
which we had just had lunch because Zach really wanted Mexican, so we had
Mhm.
lunch after church. But there was a food truck, there was drinks, there was different things,
There's
jewelry.
something like a Screaming Goat coffee they have there.
Oh,
Sometimes, like
cool.
a vendor. Yeah.
So anyway, it was the coffee flights were interesting today.
I was going to ask you, what were the flavors?
So chocolate cupcake,
Okay.
like a peach cobbler,
Mm.
a lavender something, but it really tasted like blueberry muffin.
Ooh.
It was good.
Okay.
And then a peanut butter cookie, which was also good.
Okay.
They're all
those
kind
first
of
two
sweet.
were a little different, probably.
Yeah, the peach cobbler for me, it was weird because it's like coffee.
It's a weird flavor.
They're all kind of sweeter. And so for me, I've like really, I don't know. I've gotten better about how much sweet.
Your palate has been diversified.
Yeah. So they're very sweet to me.
Yeah.
And I am now enjoying less sweet coffee, but it's a nice treat. I just can't drink very much of it. But yeah. We love our coffee flights.
Yeah.
The girls and I
was bummed. I was so bummed.
Well, if you wouldn't have been busy, we would have brought you.
Yeah.
We were going to get them to go and come in and have you try them with us, but you were way
There's
too
no
busy.
way. Yeah.
It was crazy busy in there. Was it a good day for you?
I mean, business-wise, yes. Something that I want to stand on business about, and it's probably a hot take, and I apologize for anybody that I might offend. But if you can't afford to tip 25% of your check, you should not go out to eat. And I know even 20%, I feel like that is just like the baseline of where you should start your tip.
That is a hot take because a lot of people are 10%.
Well, we had people today tipping 7%, 5%.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is crazy. Like we had a packed house for like 2 or 3 hours, just completely packed. And I didn't walk out with more than $100. I walked out with less than $100 in tips, split with someone else, granted. So I'm going to do some quick math in my head. We'll put some numbers
we'll say
swirling
like
above.
175.
Well, so 95 and 95, 0, that's 190 plus 50. So because Colby took her cut before she left. So we probably had $240 in tips total that all three of us had to split.
It's not a lot.
It's not a lot. And there's people that live on tips. Unfortunately, I don't, and the other bartenders don't. Some of them do, actually. Some of them do. I think that is their primary job.
I did see a very big post about how wonderful the salmon was.
Oh, good. Yeah. I mean, the food there is amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't, like, as a bartender, I don't expect 20 or 25%. I haven't bartended in years, but when I did. But I will say that the drinking crowd, the 9 p.m. crowd, tip better.
Yes, they do. I will.
Older people are really quick to not tip well for them. I'm not saying everybody.
Right.
I'm just saying from what I've seen.
Just an experience.
Lunch typically is not great tips.
Yeah.
And that's
brunch.
where you worked. But you should at least be tipping like 15, 18%, no matter what. Like if you can't, you don't. And if my bill is $15, say I'm just buying myself a meal and it's $15, you're probably going to get almost the exact same amount in a tip.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that's not very much money and I'm going to tip you. So I'm giving you 10, 15 bucks on top of that.
Yeah. I wonder if it's just a generational thing. So I know a lot of our listeners are in the same generation as us. They're millennials. Do you guys feel the same way that the tipping should start at 20%, or should it be, 15, 18%? Where do you think that
7% is rude?
It's deplorable. Like it's just outrageous. 7% on a 70 some dollar meal.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was so disheartening because tips, in my opinion, are a reflection of service. And everyone seemed so happy and so satisfied and plates were cleaned. Like
I know people that come to that restaurant that have a lot of money and they do not tip because they don't feel like they have to. And that is ridiculous. That is an entitlement. Sad. Let me tell you something. I don't care who I am. If those people were working there and I was working, or if those people came in and I was the worker, I wouldn't help them. Yeah. I'd be like, no.
I mean, it's to the point where I'm ready to talk to management and see if we need to start putting a gratuity on certain, like if your check is a certain total, you are giving a guaranteed 20% tip. Like a 20% gratuity is going to be added to your check.
It's typically 18, yeah.
Is it? Well, yeah. But
like for big parties and stuff, 18%.
Yeah. Big parties or a high, you're spending $50 or more, 35 or more. Like, it's
because you think about it, even if I were to give you say I got a $15, my check was $15 and I give you a $5 tip, that's like 33%.
Yeah, that's a lot. Like I can't do math, but it's more than 10.
33.33.
Yeah.
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 So that's a lot more.
Yeah.
And that's nothing. $5 as on a tip is nothing.
Right. Like, and I've said before on the podcast that $10 is my typical starting point.
Yeah.
And unless the bill is a lot, then I'm up to 20. Like I don't tip less than 10.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a $3 thing, I'll tip 5, but that's still over 100% of a tip.
Yep.
It's just
and
crazy
before
to me.
I was in service work and did that like on the side, I never tipped when I got, we've talked about this, I think, food to go. I never tipped because I was like, you didn't do anything for me. Like,
yeah,
but you did. Those people took your order. They're only making money if they're tipping pretty much. So now I do.
Yeah.
Now I do.
I tip on to-goes.
It's not as big as if I'm sitting in a restaurant, but I do. I tip.
I think my starting there is like 5, just depending on how much. If it's just for me, like it's just a me meal, it's 5. When I got all those desserts, I think I tipped $10 because it does take effort, even if Anyway,
I'm taking my time away from what I was doing, getting other tips to deal with you. Yeah,
and something that your tip will start going up if I'm ordering to go is if you say, "Would you like a drink while you wait?" Definitely helpful. Not necessary. Like maybe I don't, but you're still trying to help and I feel like that's my standard. Like if you're ordering to go and you're waiting here for it, I'm going to ask you, here, do you want to have a water while you wait? Do you need a soda or something?
Yeah.
Like, what can we do for you to make this experience good so that you want to come back?
Yep.
And it's just disappointing that there are certain generations that typically don't have the same mindset about tipping in this day and age because times are hard. Anyway, at the end of the day, tip your servers.
Yeah.
Tip the people that are helping you. And if it's super
busy and they're giving you great service, tip them better.
For the love.
Let me tell you something. If you come in and you do a great job and you don't even have to be like on it with my drinks. Like if I'm sitting there for a little bit without a drink because you're super busy, as long as you like acknowledge it, because there is a restaurant that we've both been to where if you get a second drink, you might.
Yeah. Like it's your lucky day. You hit the lottery.
Yeah. And
and that's what because I have that experience, I try not to let anyone else experience that, even if we are slammed.
Yep.
And the 2 other servers that I worked with today are awesome because they have the same mindset. They're like, we got to stay on it. There's no rest.
Yes.
There's no time to
rest for the wicked.
That's right. There's no time to lean. Like we've got to be all in, 10 toes in.
Yeah.
So that's my hot take. It's probably just because it's really fresh. Anyway, I love the place that I work. I love being able to socialize with people, but please just tip your bartenders and your servers. So what do you have for us?
I have there's 10 things and it's either weird habit or red flag. So I just want you to name it and I'll tell you if I agree or disagree.
Okay.
So weird habit or red flag, sleeps with socks on.
Ugh. That's weird habit.
Okay. Still uses a baby blanket.
Man or woman?
It does not matter.
I don't know.
It should not matter.
Well, you're right. Maybe I'm a little sexist. I don't know. Weird habit.
I'm going to say it's a red flag. It's weird.
It's weird.
But it's a red flag.
Okay.
You got some mommy issues or something you got to work on. Okay.
Some people like to snuggle with their baby blanket, I guess. I don't know.
If you're 36 years old and you got a baby blanket, that's weird. I'm sorry. Unless it's in your closet, put away for safekeeping or give it to your kids someday. I don't know. Okay. Weird habit or red flag. Sets 15 alarms and snoozes all of them.
I hope that's not a red flag.
It's a red flag, but I do it. No, I don't have 15 alarms. But I definitely snooze my alarm pretty much every morning.
Yeah, same.
Weird habit or red flag. Uses speakerphone in public.
Oh, red flag. That's so obnoxious.
Corbin.
Corbin.
He
so
always talks on
obnoxious.
speakerphone, and he doesn't tell me like, "Oh, you're on speakerphone."
Dude, that's the worst, man. You gotta let somebody know.
I always say like, "Oh, hey, you're on speakerphone," or "Oh, you're on the car
You're
phone.
on the
The
car
kids
phone."
are in the car." Whatever.
Yeah.
Weird habit or red flag: uses astrology to make big life decisions.
Ugh, see, I think that's a red flag.
For big life decisions, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Weird habit or red flag: uses baby talk.
Ooh, red flag.
Yeah.
Hate it.
Yeah.
No offense if that's what you're into. We don't kink shame, but that's a red flag for my life.
Has a favorite fork and won't use any other.
Just a weird habit. It's a weird habit. I may or may not have stole a fork from my parents' house because it's the only one I like.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a weird habit, and it's Bianca's weird habit, and it was on a list. I did not make that one up. Wears PJs to the store with no shame.
Oh, not even a weird habit or a red flag. That is living your best life.
I don't know. I don't know. If it's obvious pajamas, I'm like, oh.
I think I wore my Christmas pajamas to Walmart one time.
You know, it's not a regular thing, you know.
Oh yeah. That doesn't say regular thing.
Yeah. Uses Snap as main form of communication.
You already know what I'm going to say.
Red flag.
Red freaking flag. Red flag because it disappears. Why do you have to communicate?
It doesn't have to though.
Yeah.
Cuz I have like with Kelsey, cuz she can't get Facebook because someone hacked her. Thanks a lot everybody. She's tried like 12 times to get a Facebook suck. And it like is like now they think she's the hacker and they're like shoot. No. Anyway, so that's how I get pictures of Ryder. She'll send them to me and I have them saved so it shows everything.
That's true. And I do think that it's, and not in this situation, but I do think that it's a generational thing where like younger generations are just so accustomed to it.
Yeah.
But like in the dating world specifically, I will say that it's a red flag.
Yeah.
That, not a red flag. Matthew and Abby use it a lot. That's not necessarily a red flag. It's a red flag to me if I am meeting somebody new and they're like, add me on Snap. And I absolutely won't.
And that's like the only way that they want to communicate with you is through Snapchat.
Yeah.
What are you trying to hide?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, the last one. Venmo's you a request for gas when you guys went somewhere. I think that's a red flag.
Yeah, I don't like
unless
that.
You like said like we're going to the city and you're like, hey, I'll pay for half your gas, and I'm still not gonna Venmo request you. Like, if you want to Venmo me, that's fine.
That's a little much.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
Yeah,
that feels icky.
Okay.
Yeah, red flag for sure.
Those are
your hot take questions.
I love red flag or weird habit.
That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. I have 3 more questions like the ones we did last week.
Okay.
So my first one is, what's the juiciest secret you've ever heard?
I'm supposed to tell the secret?
Maybe like a general idea without revealing personal information. Because clearly it's a secret. We don't want to.
So I was told at one point that there was a person that was pregnant that they were not pregnant by their husband, but actually their husband's brother. And they knew for a fact that it was their husband's brothers. So it was like Uncle Daddy.
Oh my gosh, that's juicy.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to top that. That is tea, baby.
I need anybody that's watching this to know I did not, and nor will I ever tell anybody that secret.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, I don't have a secret.
Oh yeah, no, I forgot you didn't answer.
I don't have.
You have anything?
Nothing juicy, I guess. I mean, people have just told me like pregnancy things, like this person's pregnant. And you're like, what? No way.
Yeah.
Like I've heard those, but like I've never heard. I don't think anyone's like shared. Oh, so and so's having an affair, or so and so's doing this.
I once had somebody like allude to that their ex-husband might have murdered somebody and put them in a file cabinet in their basement. I don't think it was the thing, but they definitely alluded to that might be a secret.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was really weird.
You'd be holding on to some crazy.
Girl, when you're in a position like mine, sometimes people just
be telling you things.
But I will say I feel like hairdressers probably have it worse.
Oh, honey, yeah. Nail technicians, hairdressers. Okay, well.
Oh, speaking of that, get on your TikTok and look up like your city and then like nail like people that do nails, and I happened to look at that, and there's now all my TikToks are now like these people that are doing nails. They're amazing. They're not super expensive. I'm sure it's people that are trying to get started up, but like I'm about to go do fun nails.
Oh yeah.
I'll have to show you some of the videos I found. They were super cute.
I
was like, I
that.
have birthday money. Maybe I'll do that for myself.
Ooh,
I don't ever get my nails done because
you really don't.
I don't do it, but maybe.
Yeah. We could do it together. That'd be fun. Okay, next question is, who's most likely to spill the tea?
Who's most likely to spill the tea? Gosh, you.
I was going to say, if it's just between us, it's definitely, I'm going to spill that tea. You're calling me
and being like, I have tea.
And then my answer is the same for you. Like, it's you.
Yeah.
You're the person who's going to be like, guess what?
Yeah. Guess what I heard. But I don't, I'll be honest. I'm like kind of like a hermit now, so I don't really know a lot of things.
Yeah, there's really not. Yeah,
Bianca gets more information than I do.
Yeah, there's just not a lot of tea.
Yeah,
really. Okay, last question is, who's the last person you'd expect to gossip? And we probably have the same answer, to be honest.
The last person that you would expect to gossip?
Mm-hmm.
It's not my husband, because he definitely would.
He is a gossip, and so is Neil. That's what I was going to say. Your mom.
My mom.
Seriously, the purest human.
Yeah, she would never.
Yeah.
She would never.
Who's the first person? Brindley.
Yeah, and I know that, like, if I tell her something, except for something that I tell her not to tell, she, like, told my brother, and I was like, why would you do that? He's like, I need an address. I'm like, oh, great.
Yeah, because she knew. She's like, this is the time.
Yeah.
And that's not gossip. That is just sharing information.
Yeah, but yeah, she doesn't talk about it. Like, even if someone goes to her and talks about a situation, she doesn't then turn around and talk bad about the other person or whatever.
No.
I was raised by a saint, you guys. The closest that I've ever gotten to a saint, at least.
Truly. Yeah. And that was
saying she's perfect, because she had her moments.
Yeah, nobody's perfect, but that's who I would say.
Mm-hmm.
She's not going to gossip. So, okay. Week 12?
Week 12.
Let's talk about some gossip. Let's switch in, because we do like to gossip.
Karens.
So I went first last time.
Yeah.
So go ahead and hit me.
Are we going to grab our coffee?
Oh, yes, we are. All right, let's grab our coffee, get comfy, and let's take back Sunday.
My story is called Hook, Line, and Karen. All I wanted for Father's Day was an hour of peace and quiet. Nothing fancy, no golf, no brunch, just me, a shady spot by the lake, and a few curious fish to humor me. Turns out the same idea had occurred to about 6 other dads, some with lawn chairs, others with kids wobbling around in Crocs, all of us quietly bonding with our bobblers and bait. A few had kids holding the rod like it was a lightsaber, and every single one of us had our fishing license displayed with some sort of quiet, unspoken dad badge of honor. It was calm, it was peaceful, it was perfect. Until she arrived.
Oh, God.
I heard her before I saw her. Flip-flops snapping against her heels like an angry punctuation, a reusable water bottle in hand, and the unmistakable glare of someone about to tell strangers they're doing life wrong.
Oh, no.
Yeah. She made a beeline straight for me. "Excuse me," she said, squinting at my tackle box like it was a crime scene. "Do you realize how inhumane it is to fish?"
Oh, lady.
I blinked. I'm catching and releasing," I offered, hoping that would end it. She scoffed like I had just told her I'd gently drop-kick puppies for sport. "Oh, that's even worse. You're dragging them out of their environment, poking holes through their mouths, and then tossing them back like they're garbage. Fish lungs aren't even designed to..." And that's when I cut her off.
Oh.
"Fish don't have lungs," I said calmly. "They have gills. That's how they breathe. Oxygen is pulled from water as it passes over the gills. So yes, being out of the water isn't ideal, but that's why I keep it brief. Wet hands, barbless hooks. It's catch and release, not a torture chamber." She didn't blink. They still suffer.
Oh my goodness.
Meanwhile, one dad reeled in a little bluegill and his daughter squealed with joy. He quickly unhooked and let it slip back into the water, smiling at her like he had just given her the moon.
Aww.
My protester didn't seem to care about him. or the other dads, or the fact that we were all licensed, responsible anglers doing a time-honored activity with our kids and grandkids.
Yeah, my goodness.
I mean, I guess everybody has their right to an opinion, but gee,
like,
I thought fishing was like pretty widely acceptable.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Nobody asked for her opinion.
Instead, she stepped forward and planted herself right in front of me, arms crossed like she was about to deliver a TED Talk titled, "Why You're a Monster."
Oh my goodness.
"Please move," I said, motioning. And the fact that some of these Karens think that they can touch or put their bodies in front of men, but if those men were to touch them, they'd be like, "Oh, I'm calling the police.
Yeah.
You hurt me." It's gross. "Please move," I said, motioning for her to step aside. "I'm protecting the innocent," she said. I sidestepped. She mirrored. It was like trying to cast a line with a particular stubborn mall security cop standing in the way. Then, without warning, she lunged forward, grabbed my rod right out of my hands, and snap, broke it clean in half over her knee like a bargain bin action hero.
Hannah.
Time stopped. I looked at the remains of my rod, then at her, then at the other dads, who were all now staring, mouths half open, kids gripping juice boxes, in stunned silence. "Happy Father's Day," she said, as if she'd given me a gift, and walked off down the bank with the kind of moral superiority usually reserved for movie villains. I stood there, rodless and slightly dumbfounded, as a little boy behind me whispered to his dad, "Are we still allowed to fish?" His dad nodded slowly, eyes still on the woman. "Yes, son. We just try to get a grip on the pole. Yes, son. Just keep your grip on the pole real tight." That was it. She just snapped it and then walked away.
I can't believe that.
Yeah. Destruction of property.
Some of those rods are so expensive.
Father's Day.
Yeah. Like, who was this? Who sent her? Like, this sounds like she had a personal vendetta against this guy.
Yeah.
Because no one else was breaking this, like, moral code.
Yeah.
The man that caught the actual fish wasn't doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
That is brazen again.
Crazy.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I'm still stunned. Okay. This one's a little longer.
Okay.
Called Middle-Aged Menace.
Ooh.
Let's set the scene. My family and I live in a quiet neighborhood on a street with a cul-de-sac. We've been here for about 2.5 years and enjoy the chill vibes in this hood. Our neighbors to the left are two guys who obsessively do yard work because it seems to be their thing, and we enjoy a quick wave and a friendly hello every once in a while. Our neighbor's catty corner across the road, so for those of you that don't know what catty corner is, it's not straight across, but it's like diagonal.
Across.
Otherwise sometimes known as cattywampus. Catty corner across the road hosted a neighborhood coffee and tea gathering in their driveway once, so we have a bit more rapport with them and run into them occasionally in the wild and always stop to speak. That's nice. Coffee and tea.
Nice. I was literally like, maybe we need to do a patio neighbor party at my house.
I love that. Otherwise, on our day-to-day, if we both happen to be outside at the same time, a quick hello or smile is the level of exchange. This is my level of comfort in my neighborhood. I don't expect anything from anyone. I don't ask anyone for anything. We are cordial, friendly, and all living our own lives. We are house proximity acquaintances. Our neighbor to the right, however, has always tried to topple this delicate and enjoyable boundary that my family and I have set for ourselves. My husband's first encounter with her occurred shortly after we had moved into our house while he was checking the mail. The neighbor, we will call her Sheila, approached him to introduce herself. My husband, who is a lovely, amazing, beautiful, socially awkward hunk of a man, braced himself for this forced social encounter as this bubbly, middle-aged single woman bounded over towards him. She proceeded to introduce herself, which he also did in polite response. She then made the comment to make sure his wife knew not to worry about her hitting on him because she's old enough to be his mom. WTF. What kind of introduction is that? My husband did the polite chuckle and then told her he had to go water the fish or something.
Oh, that's funny.
So that he could GTFO of this engagement.
Mm-hmm.
He told me about it. We had a weird chuckle and then we moved on with our lives. That is so weird. Like, you don't have to tell your wife that she doesn't have to worry about me hitting on you.
Probably has to worry about you then. That's what I would think.
So shocking. Like, that's
okay.
That would be like someone coming over to Zach. Like, what?
Tell your wife she doesn't have to worry about me. I am now.
You know that scene in Yellowstone? Is that what that show's called? I can't even remember. Yep, Yellowstone, where Beth and Rip are at the bar, and this woman comes over to talk to Rip, and she's like, I'm married too. And he's like, okay, where's your husband? And she's like, well, where's your wife? And he's like, right there.
Yep. And she takes a beer bottle,
knocks her out. Yeah, that would be what would happen if. Over the preceding months, I had very few encounters with Sheila, but when I saw her, I was always sure to give a polite wave, or if we were within walking distance, a quick hello. Typically, the only time I'm outside my house is when I'm going to and from my car, or leaving or returning from a run or walk. This is not prime engagement time for me. I have places to go and people to see, whether that be the people where I am going or the people inside my house. She did make sure to introduce herself, and I introduced myself and again went on with life. Our first Christmas in our house, Sheila had left a Christmas card on our front porch with a box of chocolates. Due to the unwritten social contract, we then proceeded to scrounge up a Christmas card and got her some Christmas treats as well to leave on her porch as a thank you. By the next day, we had received a sheet of paper and a plastic paper protector that had the addresses and names of all the folks that live on this side of the street taped to our door. She made sure to include her house and phone number and a note about how anyone can stop by anytime, especially if they lock themselves out of their house. That's nice, I suppose, but not so much an issue these days with keypad access to many homes. The frustrating part for me was that she included our house, our names, incorrectly I may add, because she misread our last name when we signed the Christmas card, and the names of our kids, since we had all signed the card for her. Like, put her whole family's name and address, like, on this piece of paper. I expressed frustration with my husband about this, as I didn't know who else she was sharing this database of information with, but I never said anything to her personally about it because I honestly didn't want to deal with the drama.
Yeah, but that is weird.
I don't like it. It's icky. Like, don't put my kids' names on anything.
Don't put my name on anything without my permission.
Yeah, and don't be giving out my
Don't put me on any kind of list unless you talk to me about it.
Exactly. I don't want to be on that. So she didn't want the drama. I figured I would approach her about it if I had any other safety concerns. I mentioned that I did not see Sheila with much frequency. However, my sweet husband seemed to encounter her multiple times a week. If he was checking the mail, taking trash cans to the curb, taking the boys to and from places, walking the dog, or taking care of the chickens, he would often see her. My husband was always polite during these brief interactions. He would always say hello or give a quick wave and answer a question if she asked. However, she would often catch him at a time when he was in the middle of something or coming or going, so these interactions remained naturally brief. Of note, much of the time, it's not as if she was already outside when he would encounter her. Often he would be outside doing his own thing when she would randomly appear outside to let her dog out, check her bird feeders, or sweep her deck.
Ew.
Yeah, weird. Now I know what you're thinking. Okay, friend, you have an odd neighbor, but exactly what makes her a Karen? Have no fear, this was all background, so you can understand the dynamic that went into the interaction that ultimately led to a truly Karen moment. Let's set the stage. It's piano recital night. The kiddos have had a full day of school, went to Taekwondo, and are now getting ready for the youngest to showcase his piano mastery skills in front of a live audience of eager parents and family members. I am at work, saving lives as usual, and am hoping to skirt in right at the beginning of kickoff time after giving a report to the oncoming night shift. So here's my beautiful husband wrangling the kiddos, making sure the youngest isn't trying to put on backwards and inside-out sweatpants and a blanket hoodie for the recital, getting the oldest pried away from his video game so they can get out of the house. Time is running short and they are running behind. Not yet officially late, but on the cusp if they don't get on the road, like now. Finally, everyone is out of the house. They are in the driveway, approaching the car. Hubby's hand is on the car door handle, with a feeling of accomplishment that he and the boys won't be screeching to the recital location on two wheels, when a certain blonde-haired neighbor starts waving to them from her front yard. Hubby waves back and proceeds to open the car door. Sheila starts talking. My husband says, "We're short on time," and proceeds to finish getting into the car and heading out of the driveway. Simple as that. Maybe not the softest, cushiest way to decline her invitation for conversation. The man was being direct, but at the same time, he wasn't being rude. There was no visible emergency when she was attempting to talk to him. She did not express a sense of urgency. He, however, did have some urgency and needed to not be there chit-chatting with her at the moment. The boys made it to the piano recital and I made it in a few minutes behind, but was able to fully see the youngest crush his recital. All was well with the world. The next day, upon returning from work, I noticed a roll of tape on the kitchen table with a folded piece of notebook paper sitting on top of it. Hubby pointed it out and told me to check it out. I unfolded the piece of paper to be greeted with the following message. Dear neighbors, I noticed the bumper of your car had a crack on it that I was afraid could worsen and catch on the road, causing further damage. I have heard that adhesive tape, such as Gorilla Tape, can be helpful with temporarily repairing this kind of damage. That's what I was trying to tell you the other day when you were leaving your house. I am just a 75-year-old woman trying to be friendly. However, you've made it clear that my friendship is unwanted. I will be sure not to speak to either of you when I see you outside again. Sincerely, Sheila. It's a little aggressive. I just stared at the note for a few minutes, thinking, what the heck? How did this one encounter where my husband stated he had to be somewhere, obviously rushing with kids in tow, lead to this passive-aggressive, hot mess of a note? My first instinct was anger. I wanted to retaliate and write a hateful note back. I wanted to make a sign in my yard with something passive-aggressive aimed at her. I wanted to holler something at her the next time I saw her outside. However, I decided that the best course of action was to do nothing. I knew that if I retaliated, it would just make her feel justified in her actions. But if I did nothing, then she would have to awkwardly sit with her own choices and life decisions. So I have pretended like nothing has happened. If I see her outside, I will politely smile. There has been a time or two when she specifically says hi to my dog, meaning she will literally say, hi, insert dog name here. Again, I'll politely smile and move on, but trust me, if she attempts to engage me in conversation, I will be the first to point out that she said she wasn't going to speak to us. I'll be petty mayonnaise if the opportunity presents itself. Oh my God. Do you get that joke? So that's the story of my local Karen experience. Who knows what the future holds for upcoming encounters with this entitled neighbor? Postscript commentary by the author. I'd like to acknowledge that I can certainly see both perspectives when reflecting on this encounter. While this neighbor is an older single woman who is likely lonely, she is also active, frequently outside with her dog, and I frequently see her interacting with other neighbors or personal visitors. All of this to say, it's not like she is so lonely and lacking interpersonal connection that we were her only lifetime to this type of engagement. Now let's reflect on the other aspect of this situation. I don't owe anyone social engagement simply because they approach me. This doesn't mean that it must be a rude or disrespectful encounter. However, it is completely appropriate not to have social discourse with someone simply because they initiate it. Does someone else owe me their time? In most circumstances, the answer is no. Do I owe someone friendship because they live within my proximity? Also no. I did not choose my housing based on my neighbors. If that were the case, I would have moved next door to my best friend. In conclusion, I think it's helpful for people to reflect on their social expectations of others. Next time you feel miffed because someone was brief with you, consider that they may have other things to do, other folks to talk to, or they may just simply not want to visit with you. And while that may hurt our feelings initially, I think it's helpful to recognize that boundaries are appropriate and permissible. Also, we kept the gorilla tape. So, that's the middle-aged menace.
Yeah.
I have never really had neighbors the majority of my life, and when I did in Grain Valley, we all kind of respected each other's space.
You did out here? Where Caleb lives?
Yeah, but they're both old. Like, they didn't ever... Oh, yeah, they're not, but they didn't talk to us, and I didn't talk to them. Like, it was just kind of we kind of had that expectation that we just lived next to each other, but that was the extent of our
I'm not, like,
interaction.
overly friendly with my neighbors, and now I feel kind of like maybe I should be, like, but I don't.
I don't think so. Like, you're not beholden to them.
Yeah.
You know? If they wave at you, it's not like you're like, oh,
Yeah,
brother,
no.
you
Or
wave
say
back.
hi.
And,
I would say hi.
yeah, if they came over and asked you a question.
I think in that situation, what I would have done differently when I got that note is would have been like, this is why I was short with you.
Yeah.
It wasn't to be rude. I think that if you don't want to speak to somebody, you shouldn't be forced to. I'm a more open, outgoing person and, don't mind. But some people do. But, like, that would be my only change, would have been like, hey, by the way. And as a wife, would have been like, this is why he was probably come across short because, they were in a hurry and this is, But
then, so my question is, do we owe that. Like, her feelings were hurt, but I don't feel like there was a reason to. Like, he didn't say F off, like, leave us
Yeah.
alone.
No, and I don't feel like you owe somebody that. I'm just a person that tries
That would
to
just be
do
your
things
go-to.
with good intentions.
Yeah.
And so my intention I would want to let them know that the intention was not rude or to be short. It was because, hey, we're running late and he was worried and he was just kind of stressed out. So
yeah. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. If I got a letter like that, I'd be like, okay. Because, like, I've lived on a cul-de-sac. That's where I was going with, like, the neighbors. I had neighbors in Green Valley. We lived on a cul-de-sac. I feel like if one of the neighbors was like this, and, like, let's say the person I was living with at the time was in this situation where they're hurrying out and someone left me that message, we would be like, what the heck? And I don't think we would have addressed it either. I'd have been like, you can go sit in syrup, lady. Like, you can sit with your feelings.
Did you get to know the people in the cul-de-sac, like, because you guys use the pool and stuff?
I mean, there was one set of neighbors that was really nice.
Because they really didn't know her. The whole, like, name thing is what totally...
It's so weird. Yeah, it's just a combination of, like, if I were to have gotten that on my door, like, with the kids' names on it, like, don't be giving that information out to people.
I will say it sounds like this lady probably is lonely. And it sounds like she probably is just trying to find things to do with her time, and has good intentions, but they don't she's not owed anybody's attention, time, or whatever.
Yeah. I am curious if they really did have a crack in their car. Like, was that really the reason, lady? Or is this just an excuse to make people feel bad?
I would assume probably so, or she would have said that was a lie, right?
I would think so.
The wife would have.
Yeah. I would think so. That would have been pointed out. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't close with my neighbors in the city. Like, there was one group that I was.
I'm not either, and we live in a small town. I was just like, oh. Okay, my next story is called Karen Called the Cops on My Pancreas.
Oh.
And I honestly think this one might win.
Like everything?
No,
or just this week?
This week. But you guys
who knows?
Let us know. You ever just try to eat a McChicken in peace and end up getting treated like a felon?
Oh my.
Yeah, let me tell you about the time a Karen called the police on me at McDonald's because I dared to take my insulin.
Oh no.
So picture this. I'm sitting in a booth, minding my business. It's one of those sad, quiet weekday lunches. I got my fries, my lukewarm Coke, and the glorious golden gift that is a McChicken. Now, I'm diabetic, right? So before I eat, I check my sugar, I inject my insulin like I've done 1,000 times. Yeah. Super normal, super routine. I wasn't making a scene. I wasn't waving the pen around like a magic wand. I was being discreet. Just a quick poke under the table and done. But then she sees me, the Karen, the office patrol officer of other people's business. She gasps loudly and stands up like she witnessed a live crime. And she yells, and I mean yells, "Excuse me, you can't do that in here. There are children present." So now everyone is staring at me like I'm a walking PSA. I say, "Ma'am, it's insulin. I'm diabetic." And she hits me with, "That's what they all say."
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it though?
They? Ma'am, who is they? The Secret Society of Lunchtime Needle Users? And instead of stopping, she pulls out her phone and calls 911. At this point, I'm sitting there mid-fry, insulin pen in one hand, trying to figure out if I'm in some kind of prank show. Like, you just got punked. The cops actually show up because someone reported a man injecting unknown substances in a public restaurant.
Oh my goodness.
A McDonald's.
McDonald's.
So now I'm explaining to the officer that I'm literally just trying to stay alive along to finish a sandwich. I show him my medical ID bracelet, my prescription, my whole little diabetic starter pack. But Karen, she's not done.
Oh my gosh.
She looks the officer in the eye and says, "You should test it. That could be anything. He could have switched to the label."
People aren't, I'm telling you, crackheads are not going that hard to hide
and
their
they aren't doing
addiction.
it in a McDonald's.
No.
They might go in the bathroom.
Right. They're going to hide it.
They might be in the bathroom doing it.
My goodness.
And I'm just sitting there like, do I look like I have the energy to commit a felony before fries? And the cop ends up bringing in a kit to test it. And guess what? It's insulin. He apologizes. She storms off, still Furious, she didn't get her Law and Order moment, and I quietly gathered my stuff, left my McChicken sitting there untouched, and drove home in silence. Honestly, it was years before I ate out alone again.
Oh my
because
goodness.
that's what stuck with me. The idea of someone that could see you fighting to stay healthy and somehow twist it into something dangerous, something criminal. So yeah, next time you see someone pull out a pin or a meter before a meal, maybe just let them live. Some of us are just trying to make it through lunch without a blood sugar crash and a false arrest.
Jesus.
Is that not crazy?
That's really sad that this person didn't go out to eat.
Sad for him.
Yeah. And that the police actually like entertained this.
Right? True. It made me really sad that like something like that would happen. My father-in-law, obviously passed away, but like he would openly, before we had meals, check his sugars, do his thing. And like, I just think about if he had to do that at a restaurant and somebody treated him that way.
Yeah, like a drug addict. Like
yes, is literally
less than
medication that is keeping you alive.
Yeah.
And unfortunately not keeping people alive in this country because some people can't afford insulin.
Yeah, well, there's another hot take.
But yeah, I was like, that broke my heart.
Yeah, that's sad. That this person left their food there to go home because they were so embarrassed and ashamed and made to feel like that in public. And that, again, that the police entertained it. I feel like the officer should
have just like been like, ma'am, you need to mind your business.
Like with all the, like he had the prescription, he had the keychain.
They should never even have tested
They shouldn't have. They shouldn't have.
I honestly would have. I would have been a Karen to the police department about that.
I would have been like, absolutely not. This is invasion of my privacy.
Listen, speaking of Karens, there was a Karen in the prosecuting office of Lafayette County who called the police on my husband and said he was peeing in public when he was definitely not. He thinks he might have been like in between the truck and the trailer, like filling up his gas? Weed eater or whatever, putting gas in it. But he was like, I definitely was not peeing. And he actually, when the police got there, had just went inside, because my mom worked there at the time, to the courthouse to use the restroom.
Yeah, that's not something your husband would ever do.
Accused him without knowing or obviously seeing, because if she would have seen correctly, she would have known. Called the police. I still don't know who she was, but she is lucky that I didn't walk myself up to her office and demand to speak with her, because I was hot. Yeah. I was so mad. Like, don't you dare accuse my husband of doing something that will get you on a list. Yeah, I was so mad. She's a Karen. Yeah. And I was about to show her who could be an even bigger Karen.
Right. Karen was about to meet Lisa. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Kathy.
There you go.
I was about to be a Kathy.
Karen versus Kathy.
No offense to anybody with Karen or Kathy, but yeah, I was so mad.
I would have been too.
That's like horrible. You have the nerve to call. Like, you didn't even like. I don't know. I feel like if I thought somebody was publicly urinating, I might be like. Actually, I probably would just be like, "Oh, that's weird," and like. Right? Like in the middle of the day when kids are at school and you're like, okay, that's weird. But then if I thought it was a problem, I might go try to speak to that person and be like, hey, it looked like you're not doing that, right? But I probably wouldn't have. I would not. My first option is not to call the police.
My first option is,
so weird. If anybody knows who that person was, you just tell them they're lucky. That they are lucky that I just left it alone, because I was so mad. I did not trust myself to go have a conversation with her because I was that mad.
Yeah, and
she's some low totem pole person at the prosecuting office, probably thought she was a judge. The entitlement,
Yeah, I'm telling you, that is the singular trait that connects all of these people is entitlement.
Yep.
Speaking of entitlement, my last story is actually a part 2 of your story from last week.
Yes,
with the crazy neighbors.
Yes.
So, the story of how I got a restraining order against my neighbor, Karen. I'm a 20-year-old female who lives in a suburban neighborhood with my family.
So it's been a while. She was 19, or she had a birthday at some point.
A few years ago, we had new neighbors move in next door. At first, they seemed okay, but then they turned out to be complete party animals. I'm talking 3 times a week, blasting loud music till 2 a.m. Over the past year and a half, we've had multiple confrontations with our neighbors over petty stuff. In fact, I made a post about one of these petty confrontations with our neighbor on this channel, the subreddit, which Hannah read last week. I'm shocked it blew up as much as it did, and honestly, I almost forgot about the post entirely until a few weeks ago. Here's the story. Our neighbors were having another one of their crazy pool parties, and it was driving everyone in the neighborhood crazy. The police couldn't do much because we would make a noise complaint and the police would show up to give them a warning. I feel like, how many warnings do you get
Yeah.
before you get a fine? Like,
Yeah.
you should get one.
Or like the officers are like, somebody's gonna come in and I'm gonna take your time because you keep taking my time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Fafo. But apparently not. Things would get quiet for maybe 30 minutes, but then the partying would start again. Over time, some neighbors began to give up and eventually even moved away. This was especially upsetting for my mom when one of her friends who lived on the other side of our neighbor moved away due to our horrible neighbor.
Oh, I would be so
That's
mad.
sad.
I would hate them forever if you moved. If you moved because of these people, I would be like, I hate you.
Yeah, like
And I
you're
don't
dead
really
to
hate
me.
people, but
I don't either. It's just so much energy.
it is
so much
They're
work.
not worth it.
No, they're not. There's a PSA.
Nobody that you want to hate is worth it, the energy that it takes to hate them.
They don't deserve that from you. My mom had finally had enough. Once the party finally seemed to wind down at around midnight and guests started leaving, my mom marched straight up to the female owner of the house. We'll call her Lying Sally because she's a pathological liar, and that's what she was called last time, and warned her that we will start calling the cops on them more often if they don't stop. Of course, Lying Sally and her party guests laugh and start taunting my mom, which led to an ugly screaming match. I want to know how old these neighbors are.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel
are
like they're
they
young? They
Yeah.
sound young.
Or they're acting young. Like, this is childish behavior.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I would think you would have to be young to be wanting to party until 2 o'clock in the morning. Because let me tell you, we were up until 1 o'clock in the morning. When was that? Friday night? Yeah, my birthday night. And I was like, I woke up the next day feeling like I had really partied for real. And I was like, I'm too old for this.
I get it, girl. I'm the same way. Wake up feeling hungover and you're like, dang, I just had chips. Like, what? What is this? All right. So luckily, I had the common sense to record all of this, just in case. And thank God I did. At some point during the fight, Lying Sally screams at my mom, I'm going to effing beat the crap out of you. Did not say crap. One of our neighbors called the cops, which I don't blame him for doing so. I was getting worried for my mom since Lying Sally kept threatening to F her up. The cops come and everything got peacefully resolved. Well, thank God. It wasn't until the next morning I reviewed the video and remembered that you can file a restraining order against somebody for, quote, threat of assault. Now, here's the thing. I knew that filing a restraining order against someone can cause that person to maybe lose their job or make it difficult for that person to find a future job. I knew from the sticker on the back of her car that she works in a daycare. If I were a nicer person, I could have let it go. Too bad I'm petty. So
she's a petty Betty.
She chose violence. So we filed the restraining order, took my neighbor to court, and after showing the judge the video, he was immediately on our side. Especially after she had initially tried to lie and claimed that she never once threatened my mom.
Girl, there's video.
She didn't know that I had video proof. And that is such a thing. Deny, deny, deny. The judge granted us the restraining order and we were jumping for joy. Meanwhile, Lying Sally wouldn't stop crying and pleading with the judge to rethink his verdict. The real kicker?
Okay.
Yeah, whatever, Sally. The real kicker? I made an anonymous call with a friend's phone to the daycare center where she worked and let her boss know everything. That's a bold choice.
Yes, it is.
A few days later, I noticed that she had removed the sticker on the back of her car. I'm pretty sure she was fired because she started staying at home almost 24/7. Her car almost never left the driveway. Yeah, that's a big yikes. Also, the best part, the crazy loud parties finally stopped. It's been radio silent for a whole month, which, that's great. We'll talk. You can bet that during Christmas, our closest neighbors dropped off a lot of cookie tins and chocolate as thanks.
Like, thank you for the quiet.
Yeah. So, edit. Thank you for the awards and kudos.
That's what you get on Reddit.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we should post on Reddit. Somebody asked how the judge was able to see the video when phones aren't allowed on in the courtroom. This is true and I'll explain. So we were told to have our phones turned completely off, but once the hearing started and lying Sally straight up lied to the judge saying, quote, I never threatened her, I told the judge I have video proof. The judge allowed me to show the video on this Elmo projector thing and the whole courtroom got to watch the video.
Dang.
That was the nail in the coffin for lying Sally.
Mm.
Also, in the comments, I mentioned I have video proof of her kissing someone who's not her husband. There are several reasons. The tea is piping.
Mm.
There are several reasons why I haven't exposed her to her husband as a cheater yet. I'm not sure if she and her husband are in an open relationship. They are both crazy enough to where it would be a possibility. I don't like that statement because you don't have to be crazy to have an open relationship.
Yeah. We're
consenting
people.
adults. Yeah, if that's what you want,
not for
pop
me,
off, sis.
But whatever.
I can barely, if I have one man, that is a lot of work. I don't need two. I can't even get one. How am I supposed to have two?
I can't even get one. You all had a 3, 4, 5.
Right. How are you getting all these husbands?
With my friend.
Right. Spread the love. Don't be greedy.
Upside down pineapple loving people. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
those are swingers. I don't know if it's the same thing. I don't know if that's. Yeah.
We could have like an after dark like sex talk.
Yeah.
Episode. Like, come talk to us about all these things. We don't know.
We could do a TikTok live.
There you go. Like,
I have questions.
Comment in the chat if you know about this lifestyle.
Yes.
We're curious. Okay. Anyway, so she's not sure if they're in an open relationship. They also have kids. I'm a child whose parents almost went through a divorce. I know how horrible that can be.
Oh.
So
she chose violence, but she didn't choose to murder. She didn't.
Yes, she has some restraint.
Yeah,
because she also saw that video during the court proceedings. So she knows I have proof of her infidelity, which is probably another reason why their house has stopped the excessive partying. So wait, her husband didn't go to court with her then, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I also kind of hate the husband. He's always been extremely rude.
She called him pig in the last one.
Which is explained in the backstory I left the link for. So this is my petty revenge against him. I'm holding on to the video as blackmail just in case the partying does start up again. Yikes.
Well, I could see where you feel like you need some leverage to deal with difficult people.
Yeah, I don't know that I love that she called the place of employment. Because just because she sucks at home doesn't mean she sucks at work.
I don't know how I feel about that.
And she has kids. Like, you just took away, like, some of their income for those children.
At the same time, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, not my life.
Faffo.
All right, that's week 12. We are ready to get out of here and start prepping for our last 2 weeks.
I'm ready to go home and eat steak.
Oh, shoot.
I'm so hungry.
Girl, I'll come over too. I'm hungry too.
Cake and maybe some ice cream.
Some cake and steak.
Yeah.
No, not ice cream and cake.
Ice cream and cake and cake. Ice cream and steak and steak.
Ice cream and steak and ice cream and steak. All right. Well, friends, it's been real. It's been fun. And it has been real fun. And we will see you next week. I'm Bianca.
I'm Hannah.
And we are
Taking Back Sunday. So, with all of that, let's grab our You do it.
No, I did it last time.
No, I thought I did.
No, you ended us last time.
Oh.
Oh, no.
No.
I think you did do it. I think I did do it. What the f is happening?
Just get us started.
Yeah. Anyway, over the preceding months, I had very few encounters with Sheila, but when I saw her, I was...
Marley.
We ain't doing it. Almost done. Marley.
Is that Marley?
Yeah. No one else makes that sound. Marlene.
Girl, it's every time we're recording our second week.
It is. She's like, you've been in there long enough. I'm hoping Lying Sally takes this as a sign to turn a new leaf because she...
You're okay, bud.
That's Marley. Muccilini. You're okay, old lady. I see your nose.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. I got distracted by the cute nose.